The Air Force wants to replace its oldest F-16s and started a study which could result in a brand new fighter. To discuss this, in this week's Actionable Intelligence, I'm joined by Defense News Air Warfare reporter Valerie Insinna. Valerie, welcome. The F-16 replacement has had a few twists and turns. Can you give us a little bit of a snapshot of where it stands?
Okay, sure. Thank you for having me. The Air Force was supposed to buy the F-35 to replace its F-16s. That's been the plan for about 2 decades now. However, as it looks forward, foreseeing a very flat budget over the next couple of years, it now has to grapple with the question of, can it actually find enough money to do that and actually buy the full 1,763 F-35s that were part of the plan? Some of those were going to replace the F-16, but now the Air Force is sort of exploring, okay, if we can't buy all of those F-35s, what other aircraft are out there? Or is there a new aircraft that we could buy to replace the F-16 for a little bit more cheaply?
Well, that's surprising that an overall replacement might be cheaper than using the F-35 as kind of an umbrella project.
Yeah, it is surprising. And it's something that I think that Congress and the Pentagon is going to have a lot of questions about. But the reason why that's a compelling option for the Air Force is because of the different advances in manufacturing that have cropped up over the last couple of years. We have things like digital engineering, open system architecture, things like that, agile software development that can make it cheaper to buy aircraft now than it was in the past. We saw that with Boeing's T-7. That was completely digitally engineered and was very cheap as a result. And the other thing is the F-16 replacement, is not going to be a 5th generation aircraft if the Air Force decides to go down that route of a new clean sheet replacement. So it wouldn't be stealth. You wouldn't have to deal with a very finicky, low observable coating on top of the aircraft. That's very expensive, very hard to maintain. It would be something more in the realm of an F-15EX or a new airframe, but something similar in capabilities to the F-16.
What is it about the F-16 itself that needs a specific replacement?
So the F-16 is the Air Force's sort of jack of all trades fighter. It's used mostly for air-to-ground missions, but it can do a lot of things pretty well. And the F-35 was designed to sort of do that sort of thing, but also penetrate into contested environments. The question about would an F-16 replacement have a clean sheet design that the F-35 wouldn't have, or vice versa, that the F-35 has that this clean sheet wouldn't. I think that's the big question. And that's something that Air Force leaders are not, they just don't know at this point. They're waiting to do this study to understand, okay, what are the capabilities that are actually needed? And then can we build some sort of a new plane around those capabilities that would be cheaper than to just keep on buying F-35s?
Is industry jumping on this immediately? Is this something that they're immediately looking at?
That's a really interesting question. So for Lockheed Martin, which makes the F-35, this is not a very good looking proposition for them. The F-35 is a huge program, and they want to make all 1,763 of those aircraft for the Air Force. And if they sell F-16s, if that sort of gets swapped and they're now selling more F-16s than they planned and less F-35s, that could make the F-35 more expensive. Now, Boeing, on the other hand, it's selling the F-15EX to the Air Force. But when executives there were asked about the prospect of, a clean sheet design, they said that, they're going to be watching the situation and seeing what the Air Force wants. It is possible that maybe this F-16 replacement, maybe Boeing takes the T-7 trainer and turns that into a light fighter. I mean, it's already built to be sort of a light fighter. So that's something that Boeing could bring to the table pretty easily.
Well, we'll see how this one develops. Thanks for joining us, Valerie.
Thank you for having me.
And now let's cross the globe to Abu Dhabi, where Defense News' Agnes Alhelu attended IDEX, the International Defense Exhibition. Plenty of countries were represented at the in-person event, We got curious as to which nation's industry was the most popular at the show.
Here at IDEX in the UAE, we're going to ask defense visitors who would they prefer to buy their defense systems from. Is it the US, Russia, or China? Or they would have other preferences. Let's go and check.
Hi, I am Sultan from UAE, and definitely I will go for Kalashnikov from Russia. I think that's the best.
I will definitely pick the UAE. I think what we have seen today from Edge and other local industry proves that the UAE has today a serious presence in the defense and security arena and very competitive products and solutions.
I just arrived actually, and I can't give you a specific country, but definitely a defense system that would cooperate with an independent Emirati contractor as myself, and that would add in-country value. That's my top priority as an Emirati national.
BRIC, Brazil, Russia, China, India.
Actually Russia. I like S-400 and Kalashnikov. It's a very good gun. So I go to Russia, all the army from Russia, all the guns from Russia.
Okay, so I am in IDEX, and the company that I would like to buy the most is from CSG Group. They are from Slovakia.
F-35, that the new generation of fighter. I like it so much.
If I was to buy weapons, I would probably choose US as they are the most advanced in military at the moment. Probably look at the F-35s.
I will go for the UAE. Al-Jasur Rabdan 8x8.
Hello, I would like to buy tactical communication systems from the Czech Republic.
As you have seen, answers by IDEX visitors have been very diverse. Some would go to the United States of America to get their defense systems, others would go to China, Russia, or even other countries. However, it is noted that most of the locals would go to their national company to support it. Agnes Al-Helou, Defense News, Abu Dhabi.
That's just a little bit going on in the defense world. When we come back, personal finance expert Jeanette Mack shows you how to decide on whether or not to take advantage of a balance transfer.